Okay, welcome. So this is episode 35 of the Freedom Hustles podcast. My name is John Banks. I'm over at the signingcommand.com with Andy Lehman from the freedomskillsacademy.com. So a little bit lighter now, and this same time as what we usually shoot these, but summer's hopefully approaching. Anyway, how are you doing, Andy? You all right?
I'm not too bad. I'm enjoying the warmth. I mean, it's not particularly sweltering yet, even though we're getting
Not
close
quite.
to the summer months. But like you said, it's lighter evenings, so that's always a bit of a bonus. Lighter mornings.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm good. How about yourself?
Yep, fine. Absolutely. So tonight's podcast, something a little bit different. We're going to try and do a bit of almost like a little bit of show and tell.
Yeah.
We're going to
Works great on video, but not so good on the audio.
Yeah,
so if you're listening to the audio podcast, look us up on YouTube for this.
If you're on the podcast one, I mean, you'll still get some value from it because we're going to talk about everything we see. But
yeah,
we are going to be screen sharing a bit. We're going to be showing some stuff on. So yeah, the YouTube platform might be a bit better for this episode. Anyway, yeah. So what are we going to be talking about?
Right. Okay. As we know, there's a lot of money to be made in YouTube. There's a lot of people who are making a lot of money on YouTube. There are influencers, people who are face-to-face on the camera and stuff like that. But there are other ways to make money on YouTube, and you don't necessarily have to be on the face. And there's this. Well, it's a couple of niches, all kind of together. But there's this series of videos that I've been sort of watching over the last year or two, which are getting incredible amounts of views and incredible amounts of people looking at them, and you look at them and you think within a space of a year this video's had X amount of million views, and it's at first I thought it didn't make sense, but now it does. I think more I think about it, and these are videos which, well, there's a combination of ways of doing this. You can either do them yourself, you can outsource the work. If you are a musician, that's even better. But there's also lots of free sort of music and graphics you can use for this. Now, obviously, people hear me talking about musicians and music. It is basically music related.
Yeah.
But it's not. You look at some of the pop stars. If you're a huge pop star, you can get lots of views. If you're in between or you're just doing single tracks, yeah, you get a little bit. But there's like a strange bliss point in music, which is not too challenging, not too short, not too singy. It's just chill music.
Yeah.
Relaxing music. It's music that you can work to. It's music that you can clean the house to. It's music you can think, you can write to. I listen to it writing. I know you do so much when you're sort of writing. So it's this music. I've noticed that for probably like yoga clubs, Tai Chi clubs, all these people. I've had a therapy once where the person had YouTube on. They just had this calming music playing.
Yeah.
And I just thought, there is something there. There is definitely something there.
Yeah. So it's the sort of relaxation, spa, chill out. I mean, like you say, there's a whole band of stuff in there around this, but it's generally the sort of relaxation, chill out, not vocal stuff, always usually instrumental stuff. Sometimes it might not even be music. Sometimes it could be just calming sounds, like nature sounds, rivers, rain, that type of stuff. But generally, it could all really fall and fit into the umbrella, which is sort of, like you say, the sort of relaxing concentration.
Yeah.
Working to, not too stressed. You just leave it on in the background. Even like if you have guests over, that's the sort of stuff you could just leave it on the background, turn the volume down a bit. And and these are the sort of things, like Andy says, like you say, there's no need to have your face on camera. You ain't got to get any expensive camera gear, nothing like that. And hopefully, throughout this episode, we're going to show you how to do it. Well, we're going to kind of reverse engineer sort of a few channels that we've picked out. So let's have a go.
Really.
Yep.
Take on.
I was just going to say, so let's have a go at doing that. But yeah, if you want to add another point quick.
Sure, it is really quite simple to do once you get your head around it. Once you've figured it out, it isn't that really that difficult. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, we should add a small disclaimer in. Whilst the process of making these things is probably not that difficult, and what we're going to show you now, essentially, anyone could do this. but you're not going to hit a home run straight out of the blocks. And with anything, it's very unlikely you're going to write a blog post and it's going to get seen by millions of people. It's no different to YouTube. It's very unlikely you're going to make one video and it's going to get seen by millions of people.
Well, I'm going to show that as an example. There's some you'll see that.
Yes, unless you've got a massive budget of ad revenue that you can just pump into it. But we're not really talking about that. But it's the type of thing that with a bit of momentum, and if you just stick to it and grow it, then there is quite a bit of potential. Would you say? I think there is still in this sort of.
I think there is. I mean, because there is a lot of people doing this, but there's also a heck of a lot of meditation groups, spas, yoga places, clubs. Everybody wants to chill. Yeah, as we're getting older, I'm slowing down a bit. I still like my happy hardcore and fast music, but I still
pen all over the office.
Yeah, and I still listen to a lot of chill out music while I'm working. And you think of the amount of people that are just wanting to listen to something in the background.
Yeah, I do it all the time, and I don't even care what channel it is. That's what I'm saying. That might be a little signal for people. I don't care what channel it is. I don't always go to the subscribed ones. I just literally type in a keyword, go boom, that one, and then just listen to it, and then just turn it on and move it out of the way on my screen and just leave it. But yeah, okay, so let's get into it. So you're going to go first.
Right. Yep.
So we're trying screen share now, and then you can talk through what is on the screen.
Yeah. So can you see my screen all right?
Yeah, we can.
It says I'm screen sharing.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So this is a channel on YouTube which is called Psy Chambers. Now, there's a reason why I want to show this. Because like you said, you're not going to hit, you're not going to create a video and it's going to go straight out the park. But this is a perfect example of, well, there's several things here. First of all, continually putting stuff out there. So that's a numbers game. If you've got one video out there, you're not going to do a great deal. But if you've got 200 videos out there, you're going to get a collective amount of viewings and amount of numbers, which are all going to add. So if you've got Google AdSense and you're earning money from the adverts around your videos, having loads of videos it's been seen lots of times is going to add up. But this is a prime example of what we were talking about. Sometimes things just go crazy. So Psy Chambers, like a year ago, they were releasing, I mean, they're still releasing now. They are like an hour long, if not sometimes longer. These are sort of deep trance psytrance music, and it is quite slow. There's all kinds of African beats and world music and electronic music in there, very chilly. So you've got, like a year ago, you've got one video has been seen by 8,900 times. That's not a lot.
No.
Another one which has been seen 6,500 times, which is not a lot. But then you go over to here at the same time, roughly, this one video that's been seen 2.8 million views.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
And that, if you notice, it's called Prometheus Space. They've got a few, I don't know if it's how they've got away with it, but they've taken a few graphics from the film, and so people might search for that. But if you look back down here, you've got another one a year ago was seen 684,000 times, sorry. Yeah. And then we've got one here that was seen 11 months ago, 80,000 times. So if you start adding all these up, so these are basically what I was saying earlier. If you were to go to someone's channel and they did like a 4-minute piece of music and then a 5-minute piece of music, they're over too soon. They don't get the views. But when you've got something, which I think this is important, I think it's the length of the actual music as well as
definitely
combination of the style of music, the length of music. You've got a lot of people listening to these, and you keep adding music, just sort of create this mix. They're not all necessarily mixed, are they, in a DJ style? Some of them are just
fade in, fade out.
Yeah, fade in, fade out. So you think, I mean, this is Psy Chambers. You look at, here's another one, 480,000 views, another 448,000.
Yep.
Really so you just keep scrolling. Sorry?
I like he's kind of kept a bit of a, it's almost like he has kept a bit of branding, sort of, hasn't he? And then his titles are well kind of branded. It's almost like the name of the mix and then the kind of type. So like that one, he's put like, chill out gardens. That's probably the name of the mix. And then he's put Psy chill ambient Sybient mix, which is the 3 different, and then and he's kind of kept that. He looks like he sort of kept that theme throughout, which is pretty good. Nice.
There's people, like you say, will go there. They're looking for a side chill. These are what they're keywords, aren't they? This is what people are searching for.
Yeah.
So here's another one again: psytrance Sybient mix. This one I've listened to several times. I like this one. It's 2 hours and 38 minutes long.
Yeah.
1.9 million views. And so if you go through for the last 2 years and you actually counted up how many views this channel's had, and he's still 3 months ago, 1 month ago, he's still putting things out there. I mean, 2 days ago, his latest one has had 2.5 thousand views.
So on Social Blade, which for those of you, for the viewers or listeners that know, Social Blade is a website which it'll monetize, or it'll give you estimations of how well a social media channel is doing, and you can include YouTube in that. So I've just pumped in this channel into YouTube, into Social Blade, and their prediction is it's doing around about, I mean, this is what we say, this is a relatively small channel. Okay.
Yep.
This is doing around about 1.3k revenue, 1,300 pounds. That is estimated in ad revenue. And that's every month. I'd probably say that's probably on the low end personally. So we're looking at 15,000 a year, 500,000 views in the last 30 days. And that's amazing, really, considering on 80,000 subscribers, although that's incredible to get to that. 80,000 subscribers is small, isn't it? This is what we would consider a small channel.
Yeah. I'll just have a quick look at one of the tracks itself. I'll see if there's a playlist, because a lot of this music is not theirs. So I don't know what about the legality is that one. We'll talk about music in a minute, because there is royalty free.
Yeah, some of them, we must stress, some of these people, they're musicians, they make their own stuff, but there are obviously other angles where you can just use completely royalty free stuff, and you can do that perfectly fine. Okay.
This fellow, it looks like he's got himself a Patreon as well. So it's, I don't know if this guy makes his own music or if he's just a DJ.
Yeah.
He tracks by Astral Waves, Lemon Chill. He's given him a name check, but he's got his own Patreon channel. So as well as any AdSense revenue he's generating, he's got a Patreon where people are paying to support his channel.
They'll be paying for that as well. Okay, another one then. Yep.
Yeah, well, this one is a bigger one. This is meditation relaxed music. This one's got 2.39 million subscribers, and this is the one. These ones seem to do lots of live. I think if you look somewhere, it's doing live now, like a live broadcast. Yeah. And these videos are, I mean, there's one here that's 11 hours and 53 minutes long.
They're massive,
about 9 hours long. And then some of the long ones, which have been around for quite a while. You see, this one's got basically 599,000 views. That's 917,000 views. That was only a year ago. There is one that I listened to which has had, I don't know if I can find it.
1 million.
There we go. Oh, that's not the one. It's the same image. See if I can find it. But yeah, it's had millions and millions of views. I mean, we are looking. I mean, look at these here. There's one at 1.1 million views, 892,000, 438,000, 4.5 million views, 2.3 million views, and so this is all just mindfulness, relaxing music for stress relief and calm, deep sleep, relaxing music, music for.
Like we just talked about earlier, there is a possibility that this stuff you can get on the YouTube studio for free, can't you? This music.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. There's, I mean, these videos themselves are basically, it's just a picture. Some have a bit of moving animation or bit of footage, but on the whole, if I open one of these up quickly, let's just go with this one. I can't find the one that I've seen, but
there's the ad.
Just wait for the advert to go quickly. Skip ads. So this one is actually a bit of music, moving
It might just be the intro. Yeah, sometimes they just do a little.
But then that's basically all it
So it's
is.
like drone footage. Yeah, but that could be stock footage now. You know, we've talked about Pexels, Pixabay, Cover with 2 R's. You can get free drone footage from all them websites.
I actually think that that's just photographs being merging. You know what I mean? They
Might
don't.
be that. Yeah, sometimes they are. Yeah. Oh, that's drone
But
footage. You can see that's video footage.
yeah. So basically, that's all they're doing is they're just taking photos and images from, like you say, probably stock. Oh, here's the one. Here it is. 3 hours relaxing music, meditation, relaxed music. 106 million views in 6 years.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. They've got one underneath it, 51 million views. And this is a different person, but they're 48 million. Again, it's all to do with relaxing, chill out music. And as you can see, they're not just 3 minutes or 4 minutes long. These things are at least an hour long.
So this one on the Social Blade, massive channel, 6.9 million views in the last month. Estimated earnings top end is about 18,000 a month pounds. 18,000 pounds, about $25,000 a month. That will just be from the ad revenue, like we talked about. That's literally just the ads that they'll put on, probably before and the after. They don't tend to be fair to these channels, they don't tend to put ads in the middle, which is good. They don't tend to ruin the the whole purpose of the video by putting 50 ads all the way through it. They tend to just put one in the middle, one at the end. You will get the display ads that will pop up as well, but that doesn't really ruin the experience of the video. So, and another thing, like Andy says, these massive channels like this, they'll almost certainly have maybe even their own kind of merch or their own. They might even link out to like a product. They may even have their own music. I don't notice this one almost probably does because it's got a iTunes logo up the top there and an Amazon logo. So they may even be linking out. They may even have some of their own tracks made for them, or maybe even created themselves. And then they're now selling them as well. So a couple of streams, 2 or 3, maybe multiple streams of income from this one massive asset.
See, the other thing I'd like to point out is if this channel is making their own music, for example, let's say they're a musician somewhere, there's a lot of musicians out there who could probably do something very much the same. But you'll notice that unlike, I suppose, pop stars or wannabe celebrities, there's no sort of ego attached to this because there's no name. We don't know who it is.
Oh, completely.
They've created this music purposely to make an income by targeting things that people want and using specific keywords. And again, it's that sort of bliss point. It's long music, calming, relaxed music, very simple to make, really, because a lot of it is repetition.
Yep. Okay, so you got one more then?
Yeah, this is a little bit different. If it'll swap, this is a small one, and this is only got 18,000 subscribers. It's called Virtua Waves. Synthwave, chillwave, retro wave. So this is like a new.
Yeah, I love these. These are amazing, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, I won't say it's new, but it is. This is like a new take on.
It's sort of a new niche, isn't it? It's like 80s synth chill. It's a weird kind of descriptive way of putting it, but yeah, it's like that, isn't it?
Yeah. So as you can see with these, this guy is churning out quite a lot of videos per month. I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3. So they did 4 last month, 3 months ago, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 videos again from
Maybe
4 months ago.
So 1 a week.
So he's like doing 1 a week, yeah. And these are again not necessarily over an hour long, but these are 36, 35. There's 1 hour 23 minutes.
Yeah.
But 3 months ago, he's got a video which has done 236,000 views.
Yeah.
4 months ago, was that 36,000? Then there's 38,000. These all add up, but again,
they do, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's really good.
So here's one I listen to quite a bit. This one is 1.5 million views, and he's only been going a year. He hasn't been doing a huge amount. So he's had a lot of views.
Yeah. So that one is, they got their estimates. Very, very, very bottom end is just shy of sort of $100, but then top end is around about $1,000 a month. And I don't think, like you say, if he's done that over a year, and he's now putting in $1,000 a month, that's bloody good, isn't it? All that, and then
it's not bad at all. I mean, again, he's just hit that sort of long sweet spot of.
Yeah.
Let me just have a see if he's actually got his own music. Let me just mute that. See if I can quickly get up the. Yeah, so this is
Okay.
this is a mix of other people's music. He's just gone and collected them from sort of SoundCloud and places like that. Open Spotify artists. He's just taken other people's record music, mixed them together, or put them together, and then just created this video with old style computer graphics, which we found out you can license these from people like on Fiverr.com and places like that.
You could outsource the whole thing, like you say. We've found. So there's guys on Fiverr that will do all your graphics for you. There's guys on no doubt Upwork and people per hour and all that will do all this kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's really good. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like you say, it's a business model that you could actually just keep chipping away at in the background, just creating videos.
Okay.
You can get yourself set up in a system where you can create a video one day, pop it up in the week, and then do another one next week, and just keep building up.
Yep. All right. So, okay. Do you want to stop your screen share and then we'll have a look?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're back. So, all right. Well, there's 3 Andy's shown there. I've gone for 3 kind of different ones. So I'll show you my 3 and then we can sort of compare.
They're all even though they're different, they're still in the same sort of similar relaxation and calming.
Yep. No face, no cameras, no expensive stuff.
Yep.
Right, let me just share this. Right. So, can you see this?
Yep.
So this one's a massive one, and this is huge, and I get the impression they've very much built a very successful business from this. This one's called Yellow Brick Cinema. So they do, as you mentioned on another one, a load of live streams. It seems to be one of their big things is all about the lives. So as you can see, just scrolling down on the screen, they've got 22 live streams on the go.
Wow.
At the moment. And I just want to point out these titles for people that are kind of thinking about maybe tapping into this. It's I mean, look how kind of keyword I wouldn't say it's spam. It's clearly not because they know what they're doing. But look at the keywords in there, meditation music, healing music, sleep, zen, yoga, study music, spa music. They're trying to, and once these guys get to this level at where they are, 5.5 million subscribers, they'll be able to pull in some massive views off of these keywords. So
have you seen how many people are watching live?
Yeah, this is all live. Yeah, so these are live streams now, and these are just 24/7. So I mean, this is a bit advanced. We should obviously make a point of saying that. I wouldn't say if you're going to start a channel, you're going to be jumping straight into the live stream stuff. This is a bit more technical. There's a few more things that you've got to do, but this is something that perhaps you might want to aim for if you do go down that road. And this channel, Yellow Brick Cinema, I'll just bring my screen over so you can see it. But Yellow Brick Cinema, it's doing around about 77 grand a month top end.
Wow!
Just on ads. I mean, this is crazy. So 30 million views a month, that is. So that's huge, absolutely massive. They run their own, buy or stream our music. So they've obviously got their own music and everything now. So this is kind of like one of the
got their own app as well, by the looks of it.
Yeah, apps, everything. So this is kind of one of the pole stars, really. This would be one of the big players. You can learn a lot from these. Go in if you're going to start getting involved. Have a look at what they're doing. Have a look at the thumbnails. Go in, have a look at what they're, the sort of stuff they're creating, and you can get a real good idea as to what. I'll just skip them ads. So this one is just an image. Look, this is what we're saying. This is what we were saying earlier. There's no video at all. It's just images that are scrolling, that are just merging together. Which any kind of video editing software, you probably get some free stuff, but we should point out a couple of bits of software. You use Screencast-O-Matic, which is absolutely fine, and I use one called Wondershare. Both are like, set you back a few dollars every year. They're not going to break the bank. You don't have to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars to make these things. And that's basically it. So, and then nice big descriptions, again, stuffed with keywords and this, that, and the other. Please subscribe here. They put all their social channels down. They put hashtags in and everything. So really, really good. These are the like Polestar ones. So have a look at these if you're going to get involved. Then some smaller ones that I really like. Bit of a personal one here. This is one I like. It's called Calmed by Nature. Because of a condition that I have, which is tinnitus. There's a bit of a sort of high pitch ringing in the ears. I find that when I listen to stuff like this, it helps, certainly when I'm working. So this is just things like, relaxing meadow with ambient sounds. So this will just be, this is 8 hours. I mean, I don't need it for that long, but if I'm working, then I'll just put something like this on. It will just play ambient sounds in the background, rain, wind.
I can see one there. At first, I was drawn to the campfire by the river, but then I can see next to it is the cozy cabin ambience, rain and fireplace sounds. 5.4 million views.
Where are we? That one. Oh
no, the other side, near the campfire by the river. There, next to it,
5.4 million. Yeah, huge, that one. So yeah, that would just be like a fireplace with some rain and stuff like that, which is really, really good, relaxing stuff. And it sounds, how people I'm sure people are saying, well, where do you get an 8-hour file of ambience and rain? And well, the short answer is it is no way going to be 8 hours. The chances are this will probably be a 1 or 2 minute, maybe even 5 minute file that they've just looped. And then they've just, cropped it together and stitched it together, and they've put a little animated background again, which is not going to be animated for 8 hours. It will be maybe even a couple of minutes, and then it will just be
looped
over 8 hours. And the reason these do for 8 hours is because that is what would be considered a good night's sleep. And a lot of people use these to go to sleep. Or, like you say, if they're going to do a full day's work, then they can put it on. That one, they had a deep sleep, 8 hours, waves. I've actually seen one channel which is just a blank screen with rain, because people don't want the light. They want to just turn their phone on and they just want the music. They just want the sound. They don't want the graphics. Yeah. Actually, in fact, the graphics is probably secondary for a lot of these channels. I'd say the graphics, if anything, is just this bit to make it look good and stand out.
I say, you're not watching the actual video. You just put it on and leave it in the background to do your meditation, to do your work, to do your writing. You're not bothered about the actual video itself.
Exactly right. So Calm by Nature, this one, a lot possibly easier in ways, because all you're doing is getting sounds, putting it together.
Yeah.
That's doing around £6,500 a month, so around $9,000 a month. That's just on ads. Again, we've talked about other ways of monetizing this. You can certainly bring out merch. You could almost certainly list out to like Amazon products, meditation books, whatever. There's a whole load of ways you can monetize it. You mentioned earlier, some people have Patreon channels. So, and then the final one for me, one that I really like, one that we actually sort of come across the other week, because we were trying to sort of reverse engineer one of their videos, weren't we? And this one is brilliant. It's called Green Red Productions. I've got a lot of time for these guys. Again, same-ish model. They do some mixture of lives, but I want to just draw people's attention to the thumbnails, because I think these are incredible. I mean, they spend. We just talked just now about it's not important. It isn't important for the actual video, but for someone to stop and click on something then the thumbnail is very important. And I think these guys do an amazing job. They certainly don't just pick stock photos out from Pixabay. They are they're probably paying for some of these photos and some of these images they're using, because they're very good. I mean, these are really, really good. So, but the music, I'm not saying it isn't good. It is really good, but it's again the same thing. We listened to this one, didn't we? This one here at 6.9 thousand views. It was only a week ago. The Deep Focus music. We tried to sort of get our head around, an 11-hour mix, but again, it wasn't. It was. I think you kind of picked it apart and said it's about a 3 or 4 minute track, and literally.
I think basically it is. Yeah, I mean, it was even hard to distinguish whether it was actually a minute long, because it was just it's just the same thing repeated on loop, and there's no major change or key changes, any difference. It's just loops, and it's someone stitched it together in a piece of software for 11 hours.
Yes, literally. So I mean, while I'm here, while we're inside the dash, I will just show you. Shall we just show some examples of what you can do? If I can just move that out of the way. So if you go into the YouTube Studio and then you go Audio Library, you've got all these tracks here, which are free to use. So, you can go in, you can search for whatever you want, your mood, ambient, calm, whatever you want to do. You've got genre, you can click on ambient, apply. And you've got all these tracks here, and there's 624 pages of these. And all these are free. These are completely copyright free. So you can start a little channel up just by using the stuff that's already available. So we'll just stop sharing now, and we can have a
sound effects as well, aren't they?
Yeah. So I've stopped the screen share now for anyone that was watching or anyone that was listening on the pod. But basically, we just showed then inside YouTube Studio. So and this is it. I mean, it depends on how you want to start this. I mean, if you've got money to bankroll it, fine. You can probably go ahead and buy. What was that site you mentioned, where you can buy tracks for like £1 each or $1 each? Or something?
Basically, you got things like Bandcamp and stuff like that, where you can buy music from what they would probably consider professional artists. Whether they'll allow you to do it in a royalty-free way, which a lot of the side chain channels are, they're using in their mixes, so they must be fairly okay. But like you said, there's a lot of royalty-free places out there where you pay a monthly or a yearly membership and have access to it. Basically, what you just seen there in YouTube, lots of different style genre music.
Yes, we found a couple the other week, didn't we? Slipstream, I think, was one. Epidemic Sound or something like that, where you can pay like $300 or something for the year, and you just get access to all of their music, and it's all been sort of pre-vetted, and they know it's copyright free and royalty free, and you can use it on platforms such as YouTube and that. So and there it is. And again, we've talked about systems before, and I think this is key for this, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, what's £300 if you're getting, what was it you said, someone was getting near enough between 5 and 77 grand a month?
Yeah,
what's £300?
Crazy.
I mean, to be fair, at that kind of money, you'd be paying a musician to knock something out.
Because there was a team of people when you're doing it all for you.
Yeah, because there was one video I listened to was basically, it was a combination of the two. It had like a waterfall and a stream, birds tweeting, so it was like forest stuff, and with a bit of just sort of soothing Japanese sounds on it, and that was it for like an hour. So you could soon pay somebody to do that. But like you say, it's systems, isn't it? You just you got yourself a template, you get yourself a piece of music or X amount of pieces of music, just stitch them together, get a few images, stitch them together, or whether you go to a site and get some drone footage, which you just put on loop, or a combination of, and then you're done, really, aren't you?
I think at the top of the show we did mention, and I think we should just reiterate the fact that this will take time. If you are going to do this, it's definitely not a quick win, but it's something that, I mean, if you enjoy it, if you enjoy the music aspect of it, And if you enjoy, piecing this sort of stuff together, you will be sort of learning a new skill if you've not done anything like this before. I wouldn't say worry about it too much. It's certainly easier than, I don't know, trying to build a website and a 10 sequence funnel and all that. It's far easier than that. So, you should, just be a bit patient with it, because YouTube's a funny one. I mean, I've had my own channel round about a year now. And like we've talked about before, I mean, I've had videos that when I made them, they'd done nothing. And then 6 months later, they get like 10,000 views. And you thought, that's weird. How did that happen? And it just happens. It sort of sits in the sort of YouTube sandbox for months and months and months. And then, they can get picked up. And that we've seen that. You've shown that on a couple of examples on them channels. 20,000, 15,000, and then 7 million. It just goes out of nowhere. So
I think, like you said there, it's a long game. If you're going to approach this and do this, you basically want to have a plan for at least a year.
Yeah.
And then you want to sort of say to yourself, right, no matter what, for this next year, I'm going to do a video a week, and just keep doing that until, give it a year at least. Like you say, it can happen, but you'd be very lucky if you do something, it's going to go suddenly crazy. Because there's quite a bit of competition with the big boys, but like most things in life, though, there's just so many different people out there. And the great thing about YouTube is that they want to keep you on the platform. So if you're listening to something, and then next minute you'll see all these recommended, and so they're going to try and recommend you stuff to keep you on, and you might end up, one of your videos might get put in that list.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, several people have seen it, and then it starts to grow, don't they? They tend to like I don't know if they're like Amazon, but they tend to show you things that you've seen in the past, or recommend to other people. And so a lot of those millions of views are probably could be like 10,000 people who are saying the same video over and over and over and over again because they love it. But
the home feed's definitely tailored to the individual. So your home feed on YouTube is tailored to you. So depending on what you listen to, and depending on what you do and search for, and obviously what you're subscribed to as well, that does have a factor. That does factor in, obviously. Then obviously that's what will get shown up.
And I think it's a brilliant business for anybody who's got a studio, if they're into music and they might like dance music like this and they want to be famous, whatever. But it's a great way to, I suppose, to fund your entertainment, your studio, because really a lot of the music that I've heard, most people couldn't knock off on a computer. We've made music ourselves. We're not too stupid in that respect. So, a lot of it is very simple, and anybody could really do that. And as long as like you say, you don't go with the name, you just go with keywords and approach a specific niche and target that. And they're very simple to do.
I think the keyword element is big. It's huge. I have seen a lot of what I'd say not so good ones. I'm not going to slate any off, but I've seen a lot of not so good ones where I've gone in and I've thought, they're missing so many tricks, and the simple ones are the keywords and the titles and stuff like that. You've got to do it. You've got to do it. Even if it doesn't work immediately, like I talked about just now, they could eventually start to work. And if you do nothing right from the beginning, then you've got zero chance. If you at least get the basics right, the keywords, titles, put a good description in, and this, that, and the other, again, you still might not jump out straight away, but it's got much more chance later on. So you have to set up the basics right. But that's a whole new podcast in itself, really. Videos and YouTube in general. But all right, well, I think we've sort of talked quite a bit on this, so I quite enjoyed that. That's sort of our first semi-interactive one.
So if you're listening to the podcast and you want to know what we were looking at, get yourself over to YouTube and see the video, because otherwise it's kind of lost. It's like watching snooker on a black and white TV sort of thing, isn't it?
Perhaps we should name it "How to Make $77,000 on YouTube Without Showing Your Face." Some sort of nice fake title.
That's a good title.
That might then lure people over. All of our 7 listeners can go over and.
That's a good title. It's certainly, No, it's definitely worth thinking about. But it is, like I say, it's just an incredible. I've over the year or two, every time, I just put some chilling music on, and I'm amazed at how many numbers some of these videos have got.
Yeah.
But I understand why. It's a combination of the length, what they're going at, calm music, very little anything to distract your mind, no lyrics, just.
I wonder if they're used. They must. I reckon some of these might be used in like, I don't know, like like sort of restaurant or bars. When they have them at the back of like.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like sort of swanky places when they have the kind of videos running in the background, and not even necessarily. Some of it might only be used just for the imagery and the drone footage and stuff like this. But
I'm more than certain they will be. Yeah, there will be. I mean, definitely for spas, massage therapies, yoga lessons. And people go back to it each week when they get into. If they're going to do yoga and find a piece of music they like, they'll probably stick with it each week because it creates that mindset, gets them in the same zone.
Yeah.
So powerful stuff.
Okay, well, a little bit longer than usual. Thanks very much if you made it to the end. Like Andy said, if you're on the pod, thanks again for listening on the pod. We do appreciate you listening on the pod. But if you want to get the full kind of picture on this one, then maybe head over to the YouTube channel and just check out this video on there. Anyway, so yes, that was episode 35. I've been John Banks.
I've been I'm Andy Lehman from freedomskillsacademy.com. Just again, thank you very much for listening, and we will look forward to speaking to you in the next podcast.
Thanks very much.